Yeah, Atlas Outdoors we're a landscape design firm, basically. What we do, we do site planning, planting designs, irrigation designs, landscape designs, erosion control, and sustainable urban drainages, etc. Like in that sequence. Our passion, edible landscaping, and permaculture or permaculture designs. Before we go further, I'd like to explain who a landscape architect is or what landscape architecture is. A lot of times when I talk to people, I hear planting grass. It hurts my feelings. So I'll start with trying to explain what landscape architecture is. It's basically a profession that uses arts and science to propose a comfortable built environment, and it is concerned with design, planning, management, and stewardship of land, basically. So that's what, we're not just planting grass. We take our work very seriously. Next slide. So why are we here? Why are we having this discussion? Design and food security. Like Lape said, it sounds awful. I mean, I've heard people ask me, what has design got to do with food security? So basically, there's a problem. That's why we're here. And there's a growing state of food insecurity in the country. We aren't either, as Roberta said, we're not getting the produce, it's getting lost somewhere, or there is, bottom line, a problem. So and that's why we're here. Next slide. So first start with trying to understand what's the government doing about it. The country, we've established that the country has a problem. The president in 2016. Sorry, I'll keep making reference to 2016 because that's when we started this. That's when we started this paper. So basically, in 2016, the president was having Ramadan. He was breaking his fast with some of his with some of the obas, and in his own words, he said we must, in a few years' time, at most be able to feed ourselves, even if we're not feeding anybody. We need to sort out our units. We need to be able to feed us or feed me. I need to be able to feed me. Then I'll think about my husband, my son. This like I feed my unit. So if the president is asking us to at least be able to do that, he's adding up something and it's not working. It's not adding up. I mean, I believe if there's anybody that would let me know there's a problem, it will be the president. And he's saying that we should tell everybody we know. If you have land, cultivate it. If you have, if you can grow food for yourself, it's the beginning of solving a problem. Next slide. So, and to drive the point home, the United Nations in 2016 says there will be food shortage if the right measures are not put in place. We're going to have food shortage. And right now, in fact, I was reading somewhere that Nigeria just overtook India. I felt very pained. How do you overtake India for poverty? So it's a problem, obviously. So we need to talk about issues. Part of the issues that are fostering these problems. So in the country we have overpopulation, no doubt. We are plenty. Bottom line. And getting food to us, obviously, is a problem. We have the Fulani herdsmen. I like to use myself as an example. We have a farm. So we're actually trying to make we're trying to move forward, provide food for our community. We're trying. But somewhere along the line, we had herdsmen come and cattle away our cows. A lot of it, like 100. Then we had herdsmen come into our farm and feed their cows with our farm produce. And it's not, normally I just hear these things outside and I'm like, how would you steal cows? People, Nigeria, but it happened to me. So these things are happening. I'll go through years, suffer, gather these things, farm, then you bring your cows to eat it at the point of harvest. That's painful. That's actually painful. At some point, I'm like, what are we doing actually? Why bother? So it's not a story. These things are happening. So we also have climate change. We've heard on and on and on about how climate change affects the food security. So basically, we're back to the question: why are we here? What can we do about it? As professionals in the built environment, what can we do? How can we say, okay, we're looking for solutions in the country. What are the measures we can add to alleviate this problem or to help this problem? And that's where we're coming up with a proposal. There's a proposal we're begging, actually. Okay, these things are possible, they can be done. Okay, according to Bill Morrison, to give a short, he's considered the father of permaculture. Permaculture is basically just organic farming, sustainable farming. So we're saying, and according to him, he says that if we can, he's still talking about moving from being consumers to producers. If we can produce in our own small unit, produce our products, produce our food, we might be halfway there. Okay, so the history of what we're proposing here, the history of edible landscape is not new. It's been around for forever. In the old Spanish gardens, which are usually formal, they still found a way to incorporate edible landscaping in it. For those from the East, our Eastern mothers, our old mothers, not the new ones, not the Facebook ones, the ones from the house, would not leave their compound to cook for their family. They have everything. They have all the plants. They have, in fact, plants that you cannot even begin to imagine. They have them in their houses. You would go, you would see yam. They have, just name it, they have it. And I usually like to, when I like to explain this thing, my mother-in-law is Bini, and believe me, all the herbs she has, I need a book to put it down, just in case it goes extinct, because I'm sure after her, nobody's planting that much. It is a lot of plants. And in my house, she doesn't need to step out to cook. She has her bitter leaf. She has her ogu, her scent leaf. She would cook comfortably without sending anybody to the market. And that's where we need to get to. So understanding this issue, as professionals of the built environment, how can we help this matter? We're saying, okay, let's design our space, let's design our small environment. Even if we live in a one-bedroom, how can designers help you get to that point where you have pots in your house, you move into your bedroom, something you can cook without having to bother yourself. At one time we had the tomato problem, and people were using carrots to cook stew. I don't know how they ate it, but I can't imagine what it was like. So we're saying that we can actually, if there's no tomato, fine. There's something else. Let's try something else. Let's make some ugu sauce. It would work, and things like that. So we're saying, as professionals, let's rise up to the occasion. Let's show them that this thing can be done. And somebody was telling me it's actually a lifestyle. It's like losing weight, apparently. You have to start thinking about it. You have to have it in your subconscious that, okay, I am building a house and I need to put a garden. It's a lifestyle change. So it's a design idea change or it's a design concept change. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. Okay. So there are different ways to incorporate edible landscaping into the environment. We have urban food gardening. That's basically just your back garden. Your back garden or your front garden or in your house. You can actually stay away from the Aizora and use hibiscus. For the Yoruba people here, it's Ishapa, fantastic soup. Instead of having your palms, you can have your coconuts and things like that. So you can actually landscape your home just with edible gardens. So we're saying, okay, let's try that and see if it will work. And we have the urban landscaping. Usually when they talk about urban landscaping, I think about Kaduna. And on the streets of Kaduna, you have your mango trees. If you grew up in Kaduna, you know we're always climbing those things. You have your mango trees, you have your guava trees, and usually the megards in Kaduna, that's all they do. Once it's harvest time, there's no need for salary. Just plug my thing, put it in front of my house and sell it. So basically, it's also a thing. Instead of putting regular plants, we know with no economic value, maybe we should put something with some economic value. I'm not saying these plants we have aren't useful. Of course, they have their ecological significance, but we're saying, okay, let's try something different. Let's use edible plants instead. So we also have urban farming. I don't know if you can see this. This is somewhere in front of Luth in Lagos. It's where you have the vegetable farms, and there's a farmer's market somewhere there. Not the best of farmer's market, but it works. That's where we all buy our vegetables in Lagos. And if you live in Lagos, you will know everything comes from the north. So this is like a safe haven for people that want fresh food. So integrating this into our designs, we can have, no matter the size of your space, you can have different ways to integrate these plants. You can have them on the wall as shown there. You can use them as your landscaping in your house. You can create a fish pond and grow fish in it actually. And you can have, for where you have pergolas and things like that, or you want shade, you can use your ugu to shade it. So these things they're not new, they can be done. It has been tried and it has been tested and it has been proven to work. So basically, we were talking about a design somewhere in Katampe that we did. He has a back garden, actually, a back space, some excess from behind his house, and he was wondering what he wanted to do with it. I was like, okay, let's try a vegetable garden. And luckily, his wife is pretty hands-on with these things, and she's like, okay, that is what I want. And we came up with this design where he can actually host people in it. So it's not just a vegetable garden, you can actually have a day-to-day hosting in it. You can have your friends, you can have your family play in it, and they're all edible plants. Somewhere on the site, the site used to be, some part of it used to be a borrow pit. So we had ditches, or a ditch dug somewhere, and instead of having to fill it up or just grade it over, we're like, okay, let's do an adaptive reuse. We will use it the way it is. And I mean, it's all part of this of sustainable design anyway. So all we did was terraced it into the hole and created a pond. So it's up to my clients to decide if he just wants a pond, or he wants to grow some fish in it, or whatever else he wants to do. And because it is a ditch, bananas do relatively well around there. So we have some bananas around it. Also helping create, if he's going to put fish in it, it will also help create some sort of shade for them. So basically, next slide. We also have raised beds. We're hoping that we will reuse whatever wood was used in the house during construction to create these raised beds. And raised beds are usually very fine for vegetables. Say you want to grow your tomatoes, you want to grow your peppers, your efo and things like that. Raised beds will do just fine because it's raising the plants from the wall, so you don't from the floor, so you don't have problems with too much heat killing the roots. So we'd incorporate raised beds. We also will incorporate trellises, but this time we use the trellises to grow ugu. So as it is, with the amount of trellises we have, I'm sure if she wants to sell, it will be a fantastic market. People would come, her neighbors would come, and she could sell them. We also have some part of the design where we had like a food forest bordering that whole site. So what we have, a food forest basically is just growing your plants mimicking a forest. You have 7 different steps of the plants. You have the canopies, the dwarf plants. You have ground covers, herbaceous plants. So you have a forest looking. It's not. In fact, that one is not. You don't have to struggle. It's easy to do. Sometimes when you wash your water leaf and you pour your water outside, your water leaf will grow. For some people, apparently water leaf is a weed. I did not know. It is that important to me. So you would have a food forest where you have your creepers. You can use your mistletoe, I think that's what it's called. Yes, where you use, it's healthy apparently, and use it for tea. So everything around that garden will be edible. These things can be done. So please, as designers, let's see how we can incorporate this as we go forward. Thank you.